Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm bringing here a very interesting game, very cute and very big at the same time. So this is gonna be a long video. I'm not sure if I'm gonna split this in any way, but it's gonna take a while because this is Critic Kitchen, the Deluxe edition, and I've been dying to show you all what's inside this edition specifically, which is the best if you could get it. Don't look for any other, just focus on this one because this is a true total experience of Critic Kitchen, and I hope that I can show you today. So what is this game? Basically, you'll be taking a team of cooks, which is this that you see here. All players have the same team, but they'll just change the colors, and you understand why. But let's stop here and just take a look here at the box and the art in the box, because it's one of the things that draw my attention into this game is this artwork, which is really amazing. And I'm not the kind of person that likes cute things or animal things. I've moved beyond that kind of tastes, but I still stop and look at this because it really draws the attention. You see this cartoonish kind of style, which I don't know how to identify it, if it resembles something anime kind of style or whatever, but it's really beautiful, and the whole box is showing that. They show some scenarios that are part of the game, like this. It's kind of a it's that kind of a zeppelin, right? A blimp, and they seem like the passengers are moving inside. Then here is like a greenhouse and with a garden, but it also kind of a restaurant, so people are being served here. And here is more an Arabic kind of environment. You can see from the architecture and from the fashion, and it seems like it's a kind of a restaurant where people are waiting in queue to get in. And here you have a night view of the city with another bar kind of restaurant, and this character, which I don't remember who she is. And see how big this box is. Here's my hand. It's super heavy. I cannot even close it totally because I'm a mess in putting everything back together. So it's slightly above what is supposed, the lid. But I wanted to show you on the other side what you have. It's taking so much to rotate. It doesn't give you much about the game, if you're not aware, but just an overview, all the contents that come inside, and this version you can play up to 7 players, and it says 60 minutes. So there's a bit of a lie here that I would like to clarify. This 1 to 7 players, first of all, I don't recommend. The game is too chaotic beyond the 5th player, so maximum that I would recommend is just to 5. Beyond that, the way for you to play with 6 and 7 is limiting the options that you normally have on the normal game by just playing less than normal to give space for other players. And I don't think that's good, especially if you are used to play in a certain way. You don't want to play a different game with 6 or 7, and I feel the game is different. And 60 minutes here, come on. This must be 60 per player or something, because it's not that easy, especially the first game with people playing for the first time. If there is at least one person playing for the first time, that person will struggle a bit in the first rounds. And it's not a difficult game, but as you'll see, and I'll try to explain how the game goes by the end of the video, it's you need to do some planning that in the beginning is not that easy. So 60 minutes per player. Okay, let's try to then go in and put back the box where it was. So I bought this as a used copy. I think this was a Kickstarter campaign, this Deluxe edition, but I've seen many people selling that on secondhand websites. So I guess you'll be lucky to try to make an offer for one of them available out there. And I really want to show you inside, but the artwork, come on, you just take the lid off and you can see different artwork appearing here on the side of the box. So you see this would be the green team of cooks. There's another kind of restaurant, the Blue Bird. I cannot show you that easily because everything will come out. And this is the orange team with the same characters, but now dressed in orange. The game is friendly enough to provide you with this piece of paper, which is a map how you should organize all the trays that you'll see. And in the beginning, it's helpful because it only really fits if you do it this way. If you try to do your magic differently, it won't close or it won't fit. So keep this, it's really important. And so this is all the content that you'll see inside the box. Different trays with components, cardboard, which are the boards for all the players, the locations, all the cards, all the tokens. There's even a pan here, a soup pot, sorry, it's a pot, which is very funny that you bring into the game. Everyone loves the soups. And on the other side, you have here, oh, I haven't looked at this. So this is the difference between the normal edition and the deluxe edition. I think this is important to stop here if you are looking for in this video for more information. So what do you get differently? Your token bag has been upgraded to a standing leather bag. Indeed, there's a leather bag inside in this version, you'll see that. And then instead of having the cardboard tokens, you have them in wood. Doesn't make a big difference, to be honest, but it feels better when you're playing with these tokens in wood. Looks better, feels better. It's like you have in Ra, the legendary edition, right? Or the super edition in Ra, that the tokens that you came out of the bag, they feel like ships and not cardboard that you can damage. And one thing that really stands out from this deluxe edition is the Sous chef, which is characters in the game, basically. In the standard edition, they come in these cardboard versions, which, and now that I'm looking at them, they look very bad, because this edition brings meeples, wood meeples, to all of them, and this really makes a difference visually in the game. Looks so good, especially when playing with the kids. Like, it's a crazy moment in the game when they need to search for the new Sous chef amongst the tray, this tray here, so it's always funny. And it compensates. Then some whatever things you have, instead of having points and cardboard stars, they come in metal and different colors. It's like metal coins, basically. It's not essential. Then other kinds of tokens, they are replaced with wood tokens. It's the same thing as here. Then the same thing. So basically everything that is cardboard in terms of tokens is replaced by the wood and even metal. There are some coins here, etc. And it seems like this soup pot is something that only comes with the deluxe version, and the player trays as well. The player trays is useful indeed, so that's a good thing and really brings value. I think all these things bring enough value for you to invest in the deluxe edition and not the standard one if you find a good deal. And the round tracker, it's replaced by a pepper mill, which is really funny. This one is really funny, instead of just a disc. Okay, so after this big introduction, let's dive. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna layer in all the content for you to see, and then in the second part of this video I'm gonna focus on the rules a little bit to show you how this game is played. Okay, so starting here, let me put this below, starting here with the rules of play. It's a big manual, but it's not because it's complex, but it's because it's full of images, all the components that you see, how to set up. So basically you set up the locations which you need to visit as a chef. It's called the running part, where you get the ingredients for your plates, for your dishes. So I'm gonna just move a bit on the manual for you to see exactly what is the manual. Everything is very well explained with lots of visual examples. And then the end of the game, how to score. Then this is modular, some of the expansions. So the base game brings the Restaurateur module, which explains here. And then there's a solo mode that I've never played, which has separate components explained here. More on the solo, how to end the solo, as I mentioned, never played. So, and I don't think solo is not my thing in games. We don't want to play games solo, right? We want to play games with people. So I haven't tried this one. And some clarifications here on some of the characters that are more complex to understand. And that's it. It's a big manual, but it's not difficult. And because this is the deluxe edition, it also includes the expansion. So there's an expansion for the game out there. If you buy the standard version and you want to invest a bit more, then there is this a la carte expansion, which brings more stuff. So it includes the carts, which are also wood pieces, all these carts, some more critics, restaurateurs, more characters, more sous chefs, which don't come separated. So this edition, everything comes together. The inserts, etc., they are thought to include base and the expansion. Also, I see some empty spaces. So I think these guys were nasty. So you see there's an empty space here, there's an empty space there. And I've seen there is some other expansions planned to be released, smaller ones. So I think they were already planning those holes there for you to include those extra that they just took from the base game or the expansion, and they created a separate one for you to charge a bit more on those. Then if you want to play with 6 and 7 players, then you need the expansion. So the standard game is only to 5, right? If you're crazy enough to try the 6 and 7, you will need this expansion, which brings more of everything, including player boards and figures for players, etc. So yeah, that's important. This explains a little bit the new rules, how some of the things work, specifically the rules change for 6 and 7, which I won't go into detail. It's too much for one video, but this is how the game is adapted to so many players, and I think the game would be chaotic. It's already so chaotic with 5, with 6 and 7. I really don't want to be part of that ride. Explanation of the new characters, and that's it. So, before going in, just to let you know my personal opinion on what I've shown you. Base game, up to 5, really cool, okay? The expansion brings the cards and the 6 to 7. I don't think it's important. It's not important for me, right? The expansion brings the cards. The cards is another way to play with more confusion, more layers of complexity over the game, which I don't feel it's super essential. It brings new cards, new characters, new sous chefs, which are interesting, but not enough for me to consider essential. But if you buy this version, okay, you get everything in the same trays, etc. So that's why the definitive edition, the deluxe edition, is really, if you want to go into this game, it's really what you should focus on, right? Don't waste time, effort, and money on the standard version if you want to deep dive on this game, because I believe that you will like it very much. Then let's start to go down. So see, we have spent what, 20 minutes already or something, and we haven't passed the top of the box. Come on. And this is not Everdell, the complete edition, which I still have to open one day. You will do some magic hidden behind some screens, and the game provides 7 screens, one for each color for the team, right? So there are specific colors that come with the expansion, but when you're playing the game, you can allow players to choose any color, including the ones from the expansion. Doesn't make a difference. So for example, I think green was in the expansion. We saw that on the manual, and this would be the green screen. So yeah, there's a screen that you put here in front of you, and you work your magic, you do your cooking behind it. The screens also serve as a bit of reference guide, which explains some of the tokens, how they work, right? And you also have this token count per ingredient, which is important for your math, because the game will require some math, simple math. You need to make some additions, and you know, if you want to bet in certain things, how many of these tokens exist. So for example, a cheese worth of 7, there's only 1 in the game, right? So do your math based on that. So let's now appreciate here the restaurant. So the green team, oh, it's the first time I'm noticing this. So the green team is representing the restaurant called the Foliage au Fest. So cool. Yeah, it's the greenhouse restaurant. That's the artwork on the box. Can you imagine that I've never matched these things? The screens with the box, and understood that we were representing this restaurant. So you have the alchemy, kind of a bar thing. The rosé, the pink, the rose pink. Wow. It's not, this is not a ceiling, it's a sky. So it's an open sky restaurant with a terrace above. So fancy. This one is the one in the blimp we saw in the box. So it's the sunny side up. Does it take off? And the waiters are eagles if you need to fly somewhere. Ah, that's so cool. Here, and imagine this thing takes off and you are like having a glass of wine and watching the views. It's really, really cool, this game. And this one is the Blue Bird. There it is, the Blue Restaurant. This one seems like a simpler one. There's nothing fancy here. The orange one is the Sesame. The Sesame, and we have a dragon here as the doorman. Please, hello, sir. Do you have a reservation? What else? The red one, the red team. I always play red. I like red. So this is it's kind of Chinese restaurant in a boat. The Chinese boat with the restaurant in. That would be a cool experience. Unless I hope it doesn't move around much, because you could get dizzy and while eating, which is not a good experience. You will end up going above and throwing up. I said Chinese boat, but this eye looks like an Egyptian thing. But then the balloons and the lanterns look like Chinese. Oh, it is. It is something. It is something. Great. Where do we go now? I want to show you this, but yeah, the cards are so I can show you everything. So this lid, this tray here, you have the Sous chefs, which are the chefs that will help you throughout the game. Every round there will be a new one. And so I'm not sure how many you see here, 30, 40. Not all of them will come, just 6. 6 per game. So every game you randomly draw 6, which makes like the probabilities for you to repeat them the same way, it's very, very high. So it's a different experience every time you play. I love these meeples. Some of them are very big, others are very small. It impacts the game. And I would love to show you all of them in detail. But I'm going to show you just one here, which is this octopus. You see, it has a different color because this octopus was an expansion, a small expansion that was sold separately. And they've done that in a different color. It stands out a little bit here on the tray, but it's not one of my favorite. It's a very chaotic Sous chef. But then for you to understand the logic here, these cards are important. So this deck is the Sous chef deck. And this is from where you draw the chefs that are gonna be helping. Things like Hans the Mole. And then the power that they have is related with the animal. So for example, this guy will, because he's the mole, he likes to dig through earth, etc. As a mole, he will give you bonus points with, or he will give you bonus things with mushrooms, which is one of the ingredients. I'm gonna just show you, okay? Mac the shark. So the more bags you see here, the more they can carry in terms of ingredients. And then we have Peter the parrot. Looks very, very mean. Emma the eagle. She's very fast. You have some symbols here, like this one, you see? This means that this comes from the expansion, the a la carte expansion. And this one, I don't know, it also comes from the a la carte expansion, but he has a knife there. Not sure what the knife is, you need to look it up. I wanted to tell you, but I don't know. Geoffrey the giraffe, so big that the head comes out of the framing. Otto the otter, Donna the donkey, Atticus finch. Finch is an animal? I don't know, it's a kind of a bird, right? Looks like kind of a bird. Sid platypus, Newton Yorkie, Penny the penguin. Penny the penguin. There's a reference here to Batman or Pocket the raccoon. I think here is Rocket, right? From there must be hidden jokes here because the rest of the game there is lots of hidden jokes. So I think this is Rocket Raccoon from Guardians of the Galaxy. Mary the butterfly, Lily the frog, Mandy panda, Mandy Kung Fu Panda something. Ginger the fox, Ginger, not getting it. It's a very strange fox. I don't know if it's a male or female. Looks like a male. No, it has a male belt. So Ginger. Cecilia the python. Spike the porcupine. This one is easy. Porcupine Spike. So nothing. It also has the knife there. Really need to check what that is. Stripes the zebra. Dottie the leopard. All of them are like rainbow characters, so this is very... what's the name of it? The Proud Flag, the Proud characters. Alex the alpaca, looks like a tree. Rudy the reindeer, so this is Rudolph, right? And this one is also from a small expansion. You see the symbol there, it's different. There's like a bomb ball. Oh, no, it's a Christmas ball, a Christmas tree ball. Because, yeah, makes sense, right? Rudolph the reindeer with the Christmas tree expansion from the Christmas expansion. Richard the lion, I get this one. So it's Richard the heart of lion from the king, the Richard the lion, the king, not the Lion King, but the king, the England king, right? You know it from Robin Hood movies, etc. Lenore the raven, I don't get. Billy Buffalo, Billy the kid, right? Buffalo Bill, that's it, yeah. Oh, this one, I love it. Who can guess this one? Marty Fly. Look how he's dressed. Look at the glasses. So this is Martin McFly from Back to the Future. Snooze the sloth. Snooze for you to sleep more. Ming hummingbird. So the hummingbirds are Chinese or something. Lulu. Queenie bee. I think it is just the queen bee, right? But this is the strangest bee I've seen because it looks like a mammal. Chrissy the chipmunk. Chrissy. It's not Chip and Dale. Chrissy, no. Skeeter the skunk. Skeeter is a name we see in many places. Cosmo the octopus, also coming from that expansion, the Christmas expansion or something. Cosmo here is because he opens hole and then it changes with other. You change the zoo chef with this one, so it's not really funny. Finn the dolphin, it's because dolphins have fins. Dash the cheetah, because they are very fast. Carol koala, not getting. Hootley the howl. Hootley, I think it's just a game of words there. And Shaggy the retriever. Okay, I get it. Shaggy, this is Scooby-Doo, the retriever. Well, Scooby-Doo is a Grand Danois, but I think that that's what we're trying to do here. Shaggy is the other character from Scooby-Doo, right? Could be, I don't know. So these are the zoo chefs that help you throughout the game. I'm just gonna put this on the side. This is one of the most lovely part of the game is when you play around with the zoo chefs. And then below it, you have another even bigger, larger tray, which has all the components from the expansions. I'm gonna try to put it here in a way that I can open safely. These are the cart expansions, which are, sorry, I'm just doing this very slowly for not having an accident here. These are the cards, and the shape of this thing is because if you decide to play with this module, you will select randomly 3 of these things, and they will be included. They will fit some of the locations that have a space there for this to be fit there. And they will bring extra items and extra rules, etc. So things like ice, food drive, the sauce cart, pie cart, the newspaper cart, organic food cart, the coffee cart, the tofu cart, and this one is related with the zoo chef, so you can get more zoo chefs from here. And the way you select them, well, you can select whatever you want, but the game recommends that you randomly take from these cards, which are the cards that include all the cards and the explanation of all of them, in a way that all of them will have different tokens that you bring into the game. Like, for example, the newspapers, they bring the newspaper tokens, which work somehow. Bistro News, can you see that? Let me show you on camera. The Bistro News, Restaurant Week Rumors. Okay, so this is a newspaper about food. Okay, and look at how cool the component looks in wood. And so you see, this is how you set up this card, then how it plays, the rules, and it becomes more complex. I once I wanted to play this game with 5 people, and I wanted to introduce the cards for the first time, but I was feeling that this was going to become so complex. It's like another mini game, 3 other mini games that you add, and then explaining people playing for the first time the whole game and this card that I decided to remove and not to include. But I still hope that I can one day play with it. The newspaper, flowers, mystery box, sauces, the dumplings, the Sous chef. Some of them are just for a certain number of players. Be careful with that. The gift card, coins, coffee, cookbooks. Where are the cookbooks? There are the cookbooks. Balloons. So you have balloon tokens here. Balloon meeples. The tofu here. See? Organic. Not sure what the organic is. The pies. The pies should have some kind of different rules. Because if you look at the pie, it's like a life dial. You see it rotates. There's some kind of value there. And the pies, they have certain colors. I think there's one pie for each team. See, they have the team colors. Not sure. There's purple here and pink. No, there's purple and pink. Yes. So it looks like it's one pie for each team. Yeah, give each player a pie dial. So you'll be counting pies. The gelato. Where are the gelatos? The gelatos are here. Food drive, which is this thing here. Ice. We see the ice. And the trophies. Here are the trophies. Okay. The next time I want to play this, if it's a safe environment, I will definitely put some cards in. And you need to split this, and half needs to go here, and the other half needs to go there. And the game comes, this expansion will also introduce these coins. The Bistro Bay coin. Sorry, I know it's too many things in the background. So, there's this die as well. Yeah, that's it. Moving on. I'm just putting it on the side. Oh, there's a card here that is banded. We don't want that. Still going down. Now we have here the player boards. So this would be the pink player. And you see the pink team. They are working this pink, pink restaurant. And on the other side, there's a scoring pad for this player, which will be important in the end of the game. We'll see that later. So there's the yellow team. There are some differences here on the art of the. You see, this one has the. Look at. Let's compare. Let's compare pink and yellow. So the air is different from the boar. The lizard also is different, and the mouse looks more similar, but there's also some differences we can spot there. This is the board for the solo mode. Seems like you're working on McDonald's. The board for the green team, full of vegetables around them. Orange team. Lots of fire and orange looking ingredients. The blue team. And these two are turned over, which is the purple team. And the red one. It looks like they are working in a hut. Lots of reddish around. This is the board, the common board, the board of the game. So this is a board game that has very few boards for you to move around. And you can see, I'll explain how it goes, but just to give you an overview how it looks, this is where the action will happen. Then also important, the game comes with these 7 trays that are piled here, so there's nothing below the 7 trays, but I'm going to show you one for you to see what is inside, and then you know that the other 6 will have the same thing. So you open this, you can get rid of the lid during the game, but all the rest is important, including this white thing. So here you have the critic's plate, which is the plate that you're going to do in the end of the game for the critic to evaluate. You also have, let's turn a bit. You have, this is the initiative counter, or the tie marker to untie ties. The boar, the purple boar, the big guy. Then you have the lizard one. And you have the mouse, which is this small one. In the middle, you can find the deck of cards and, look how funny this is, 3 small dishes that you will fill with ingredients in order to complete the cooking challenges that you will face. Okay. And the cards, they have the names of the locations that you will visit, like the Desert Vendor, Midnight Merchant, Air Docks. Break time is when you're playing with 6 and 7, so forget about that, it's not a location. The Soup Truck, Garden Top Shop, the Water Market, the Chef Academy, and the Lantern Lane. So that's why I don't like 6 to 7, because one of your characters will need to go on break. And you identify that character using the break time, right? And so it means that you play less. And I don't like that. So I'm just gonna keep it here in order to keep controlled whatever I bring out of the box. So you know these 7 trays are there. But now I really need to move a little bit, because one of the things with this insert that doesn't work that well is this part. So this is going to be the insert where you have the cards. But look, there's no lateral protection. The cards could just simply slide towards all these directions. So I need to really be careful and put it here. And we'll get to whatever's still inside. This is the round tracker, which was the pepper thing that you saw. Then there's something here that I've never played, which is, seems that there's this extra expansion called the More Monkey, which includes this miniature, which is not a Zoo Chef, so it's not on the other box, and this card that follows a bit on the rules. Yeah. Where to start to show you? Okay, so maybe I'll show you the challenges. So these are the challenge. They have the easy and the hard mode. But for you to have an idea, you'll be creating some dishes along the days of the game, the rounds, and these will be the ones. This here, for example, you'll need cheese, meat, and mushrooms. So you'll need to fetch these ingredients. There's I'm just going to read the names: Savory Stack, Ultimate Melt, Coastal, Fusion, Tasty Tapas, Wine and Dine, Street Eats, and the Comfort Food. And then there are these advanced challenges: the Taco Throwdown, the Double, Surf and Turf, Harvest Edge, and you require different kind of things to get. This one even you need things that are not foods. This will require certain leveling of food, so it's more difficult. It's a higher level challenge. It's called the Secret Menu, where you can see it says use the secret menu card in place of the regular cards. Do not mix them. So it elevates the difficulty. If you are already very good in the base game challenges, you just move up to the higher challenge. Then you have these cards, which I can move fast. So these are called the rumor cards, and during the game you'll be able to access these rumors, and basically the rumors are end game objectives that you may fulfill with your final dish, which if you are aware of the rumor during the game, you can plan a strategy to achieve the goal, but in the end you can also achieve by luck. Okay, so this is how it looks. It brings here some rules that you can have access up front, and then you can prepare your final dish based on that, and that will give you extra points if you are aware of it. So it's lots of variations of the same things, and there's nothing funny here for me to show, but I wanted to give you an overview of the variety of the rumors that you have, and you only draw randomly 3. From this stack of many cards, you will just use 3 every game, so this also changed the variability of the game quite a lot. And then, this is fun. So, these are the critics that will evaluate your final dish and give you the scores for your restaurant, right? And all of them, you just draw 1 per game. You can draw randomly or you can choose, but there are so many here that this will make every game different based on the critic and what the critics like. The cockatoo, the poodle, and you see here below, it tells you what changes in the game, what they're looking for, etc. The wolverine, the mouse, sorry. So the mouse, this is like the base game reference for a tutorial. The mouse will give you more points if you invest in cheese in your final dish. So it makes sense. Mouses love cheese, right? That's the kind of challenge that you will see. This one, the capybara, just gives you more points if you invest in challenges. And that's it, right? The raccoon, the jerboa. I don't know what the jerboa is. The cow, the rabbit, the badger, the kangaroo. Oh, that's a rabbit kangaroo we saw in the beginning. Now I know. The tree shrew, the chimera, the Saint Bernard. So yeah, wine, hyena, the pig, the fruit bat, and the hippo. Now, the funny thing, the most funny part of this game is these cards. So these are the restaurateurs. I'm not sure what a restaurateur is. So these guys, when you get one card, in the beginning of the game you get two, choose one, the other one goes away, you keep it for the game, and they will give you, in the end of the game, they give you these points, and they give you a power, okay? Only for you. So this is the only thing that makes the game asymmetric. If you decide to play with this, everyone will have a special power that differs. I'm not sure how balanced these powers are, but at least some of them, in terms of stars, some of them only give you 1 star, so the power must be very good. And others, like, let me try to find one. The power may be crappy, and you get 3 stars in the end of the game. So, yeah. Okay, now I don't recognize all of these chefs, so I'll just mention the ones that I can recognize. You tell me in the comments if you recognize more, okay? So I guess these are all famous international cooks and female cooks, etc. So let's see. Marcos Roosterson. Jamie Oliver, this one I know, it's Jamie Oliver, sorry. Julie Wild. Falcon Brown, Graham Elephant, Wolfgang Duck, Guy Berry, I would say Bear Grylls, but no. Swedish Chef. Is this the guy from the Muppets? No, I'm not sure whether, because I don't see the eyes. Martha Stewart. This one is Martha Stewart. Morimoto. This is a Japanese chef from the kimono and the name Morimoto. Aaron Sanchez. Kit Joy. Looks like some Japanese thing there. Alex Guarna Shellfish. Boba Cat Flay. Gordon Ramsay. Everyone knows this one. Gordon Ramsay. And it looks like he's shouting to someone. Emeril Lamasse and Anthony Bourdain. Even it's Bourdain and not Bourdain, so the name is almost the same. Unfortunately, he passed away, but is remembered here in the game. Then you see all this pack of cards. I'm not gonna spend a lot here because this is for the solo mode. It's some cards that I don't know how exactly this works, but they will do stuff on the game. And there's also different decks. You can see they have like deck for the mouse, deck for the lizard. So yeah, I would love to give you more information, but I don't know what this is. Now, in a very careful way, I'm just gonna pick it and move it to the side because cards go down, and we can see the bottom. We can see the bottom finally. And there's the leather bag, so the Bistro Bay bag, and inside I've put all the tokens together except the round ones. So the game also advises some of these tokens to be used for 6 or 7. To be honest, I mix everything. I don't see any difference, which includes playing with the 7 level ingredients for less than 6. I don't see that impacting a lot in the game, so... But listen to this, right? The sound here is crazy, and then the feeling, I'm gonna show you the feeling of these tokens, right? So these are ingredients. For example, this is a level 4 mushroom, a level 4 cheese, level 5 meat. Look how funny they look, the glossiness they have. the sound. And then these are the spice. So this is a good example. I was lucky. If you use this as a level 5, if you manage to grab a spice and use it on your plate, then this will become these doubles. So the meat will double the value of this, the spice will double the value of this meat. It will become a level 10. And also we have the rumors, which are these blue cards. This will give you access to those rumor cards that I saw you. So basically what you're doing is if you pick this, you are not picking an ingredient, so it won't help you to do the challenges, to create the plates, etc. But it will give you access to a rumor. And from that access, later on, eventually you may draw more points. So it's a strategy. Personally, I always avoid the rumors because I'm not sure if I'm able to complete the rumor or not. Some rumors are a bit tough. And so I'm always investing on the plates and delivering the plates. Then there's the soup pot. So funny. A soup pot. It really goes into the table like this, like bringing soup, and you have a level 1 soups and the level 3 bisques, which is basically a more refined soup, but it's worth 3. The soups also go into your plates, as you will see. On this side, oh, I can just see that this is sideways. So you also have the locations. We saw that on the cards, but this goes into the main board. So the Chef Academy, the soup truck, the garden top shop, the market lane. So these are all shops for you to buy your ingredients. The air dogs, the water market. And you see here, this hole, this is where you attach the carts from the expansion. The midnight merchant and the desert vendor. And the last but not least, you have this star that comes there, which has very heavy because this is all metal. And you have the points, 1 point, 5 points, and 10 points. And it fits exactly that hole you see there. So now I'm going to take everything away and I'm going to explain how to play the game. I would like to give you now an overview of the rules. So this board is one of the biggest in board games. It's very long. So I'm struggling here to keep everything within the same framing, but I'm going to give you the basics just with what you have on the screen. So I have picked here, for the sake of this explanation, the red board and the red player. So you will get inside this box, you will get the miniatures and the dishes. So the miniatures are the mouse miniature, which I normally put it here in front of the mouse symbol. Then you have the lizard miniature that I put there, and the boar miniature that I put here on the right. That's because this space here corresponds to the mouse and it can carry 1 item. This one corresponds to the lizard and can carry 2. As you can see here, these 2 bags, and the boar, because he's the biggest guy, can carry 3. You also have this chef's hat, which you put here on this lane, which is basically the initiative and will be, well, not initiative. Every time there's a tie, you will break the tie there with that. So on your turn, and you will play 7 turns. The first 3, there will be some challenges there. The other 3, there will be other challengers. And then the final day will be for you to prepare what is called your dish for the critic, which is this one, where you need to fill it with more tokens to deliver to the critic. That will be the one appearing there on the top. And you start the turn by refilling the tokens, and then you have the stage that is called the running. And basically the running is, you have this deck of cards, which are the locations that you want to run. So for example, you see here the soup truck, which is this initial location, soup truck there. It's a bit out of frame. Then you have the garden top shop, which is the pink one. Then the next one will be the desert vendor there. Then the water market somewhere here, the water market. Then the midnight merchant, and you cannot see, but I'm just going to show you the end of the line there. It's the Chef Academy, the school. And there is another one which I didn't put there. There's the air dogs. There is also the lantern lane. It depends a little bit on the number of players, so it would be impossible for me to display everything. Right? So if I want to go, for example, to the water market, then I secretly need to choose which of them I will take to the water market. And imagine that I want to take the board. So the ideal is for you to have some space for you to put the card down. No one sees except you which location you choose. And then imagine that I want to take the lizards to the desert vendor. Then I put it secretly, the card there. And if I want the mouse to go to the soup truck, I put it here. So all the players do this at the same time. No one knows where others are going. But this is part of the strategy of the game, which is you need to read the game and see where you think other players are also going to go based on what is in the map, on the locations, for you to pick it up. Because you may not want to compete with them by going there. So then everyone reveals at the same time, and then you just move the meeples to the place that you chose. Right. So for example, the lizard on the desert vendor, I would put here in the middle because this is the lizard space, and then the boar would go to the boar space on the bottom market, and then the mouse would go to this first spot here on the soup. Let's see what does this mean. So after everyone revealed the scenario for the desert vendor, which I'm using here as an example, ended like the purple player had the mouse and then the red player had the lizard. So there is an initiative, and not an initiative, there is an order of reading that all the locations are resolved left to right. So you'll be resolving everything until you get to this one. And even inside each location, locations are solved as well. Resolve from left to right. So mouse always have initiative in front of lizards and boars. So in this example, the mouse player would be the first one to pick. So he would pick, for example, the fish, and then he goes away because he can only carry one item. He goes back to the purple player, and then the lizard player, the red player, would be able to carry 2 items. So he would take these 2. So this is a simple scenario that we are facing here, but let's make it more complicated. Imagine that instead of the mouse, the purple player had the boar. So in the same way, you read it left to right. When you get there, there is no mouse to pick anything, so it jumps to the lizard, and the lizard is the only lizard there, so he picks 2. So let's say he would pick these 2. And then the only thing remaining for the boar player would be just 1 item. Although he can carry 3, there's only 1 item available. So he would take this item and only that item. So it's not a bad, it's not a good outcome for the boar player, but at least he got something. So this is also a very clear situation. Things get more complicated when there are ties. So then imagine that instead of the mouse or instead of the boar, the purple player decided that he also wanted to put a lizard there. And then once everything is revealed, voila, we have this situation. So who has the initiative here to start picking first? We need to go to the first pick and tie track. So in this case, red is in front of purple, which means that red would choose first. So every time there is for each location, the first tie that needs to happen, then the one that is in front goes to the end of the line. So it's not behind the purple, it's the end of the line. It could be more hats here, but it chooses first, and it can carry 2. But in order to make the game fair, or the red player, which is me for this in this example, I can carry 2, but I will only choose 1. Like for example, imagine I would take the fish. Then the purple player with the same level as a lizard, he would choose his first one. Then the red player would choose his second one, and could be the only thing left here, which means that the purple player, there's nothing else left here for him to take his second item, so he was only able to take 1. In another different scenario, imagine a situation where there are 2 lizards and then there's a boar. What happens is the lizards go first, and we need to check who has initiative. So in this example now it's purple that is in front. So purple will go down to the end of the line behind orange as well, and then it chooses first. So imagine that it takes this one, then red lizard takes this, and then because the lizard carries 2, the purple player would take the second one. So he goes away, there's nothing else for the lizard to take, he goes away with just 1. And then we end up going to the boar. So there's nothing left for the boar. Then the game, to compensate, you take a soup. So the soup are important for the challenges, as we'll see, because it can count as a wild resource, and it compensates. It's like a consolation prize for the player that takes nothing. But please note that it's very important. This red lizard, he could take 2, but he only took 1. So there's no soup there to compensate anything. As long as you take something, there's no consolation prize. Okay, but there is another way for you to get these soups, which is, for example, imagine that you are one of these players and it's your chance to pick and you don't like nothing. You can say, I don't want to take anything, and then you go away and you can take a soup again as a consolation prize. So think wisely. These markers are very cool because they all have different strategies. So the soup truck in the beginning of the game has nothing except a level 3 soup, which could be used as a wild resource, as you will see. And there's this pot of soups that stays here as a pool of tokens. And then the soup gets, in the end of the round, gets everything that is not picked. Everything ends up in the soup. So, you make soups to take all the wastes from the meals. Then when you are setting up in the beginning of the round, depending on the number of holes you have there, you randomly take from the bag of the tokens, you randomly take the number that is allowed. So here I put 3, here I put 3. On the water market, I also put 3. And then rotating a little bit here on the sides. So you have this one, which is the midnight market. The midnight market doesn't have anything in the beginning of the round because it only opens at midnight. So when it comes to the time that you need to solve this location here, that's when you put your hand in the bag and you take 5 tokens and you fill the spaces, and that's what's going to be negotiated during that round. So it's a bit of a wild guess. Maybe you're lucky, maybe not. Maybe you don't have anything yet, more interesting to go, and you're just relying on luck to pick something there. So it's a wild guess. And every time there is a location there, which once you resolve, imagine no one came here and these things stay there, what happens is that everything is pushed to the end of the line to the Chef's Academy. So this is going to accumulate everything that is wasted on every location per round. So when you go there, it could be also a wild guess because you don't know what you could pick. But there's always a spot here for a sous chef, which is drawn in the beginning of the round. So you always know that one of these sous chefs is here waiting for you. So when you take a sous chef, if you like the sous chef, it counts as 1 resource. So it's the same thing as another token. And you know up front what the sous chef is, right? And you have the token. So you pick it up and then it goes to your board as a fourth meeple that you can use on your next round with this power. And you know from the size of the sous chef, the amount of items that he can carry. So in this example, the snooze here is very big, so he can carry 3 items. So what you're doing here is you are not picking a resource to pick a sous chef, which will give you on the next turn the capability of getting an extra resource. So I think it always compensates because it comes with a power. And you can only use 1 round. Then it goes away out of the game. And if no one picks the sous chef there, then the sous chef is discarded and there's another one coming for the next round. So when it comes to the challenges, on the first day or in the beginning of the game, this card will be revealed, and you know that by the end of the 3rd day here, you may be able to deliver this challenge here. So this will require you to get some meat, things like this here, to get some carrots. I don't have there's like some carrots here on the side, and some wine. The wine will help you. So this would be a wine. But although it's a multiplier of wines, you see the icon. So that's what you need to run and try to fetch in order to deliver this plate. So on the first day, you know that's a challenge. Then once you move to the 2nd day, this 2nd challenge is revealed. So it's another dish with different ingredients that you need to go after. And then on the 3rd day, you reveal the 3rd dish. But now this token that was here waiting on this 3rd day spot, it goes to the right side icon. And so that ingredient, you don't need to deliver it, because in order for you to deliver that, you will need to collect the dishes, the ingredients, as I mentioned. And by the end of the 3rd day and by the end of the 6th day, you will need to put ingredients on these dishes and deliver. So you need to have at least a cheese, a meat, and a mushroom. Otherwise, this is you don't have a valid dish. Okay, so you need to deliver that. You will need to put here like this, like this. This is a good example, like this. So you see there's a, no, this is not a good example. Let me use this one here. Okay, I would be able, by the end of the third day, if I present this, this is, I'm fulfilling the requirements of this dish, right? And so this would be a dish with levels 7 plus 7 plus 7. That will be a 21 dish savory stack. So if you look here at the board, it says that if your dish has just 6 of power, you gain 1 star, 1 point. If it has 12, it gives you 2. But if you go 21 or beyond, that means 4 victory points. So actually this example that I'm showing you, it's 21. So this would give me 4 stars by the end of the third round. But imagine that things went very badly and I was not able to get a mushroom. I could always use 1 soup to replace a missing ingredient, but this soup is worth only 1 point. I could add bistro soups as well, okay, that would increase, or I could add more meat as well. I'm not limited to just 1. So in this example, that would mean a 14, 16, 19, 20. It's not enough for the 21 points. So I could put, if I had more soups, I could put like this, and then that would give me the 21 points. I could even do a scenario which was removing, imagine that I don't have the cheese as well. I could have a soup here pretending to be a cheese, a soup here pretending to be where I'm lost here, pretending to be the mushroom, and the only real ingredient would be the meat. Okay, so this is also a valid option, as you can see, but you cannot do a dish entirely on soups. There needs to be a baseline ingredient, and then the dish is completely altered but still has some baseline meat. The rest is discussable for the critics. That's why you don't score as much points as possible. Okay, and then the magic continues. You discard all these items. You can keep on your fridge to the next round of 3. You can see here on the board you can carry 5 tokens including spice. So if I had, like, if I'm saving for the end of the game like cheese here and wine and the fish, I could carry maximum 5 to the next day. And in the end of the next day, I could carry, in the next group of days, I could carry maximum 10 because I need them for the end of the round. And on the 4th day, we reveal this. 5th day, we'll reveal this. And on the 6th day, we'll reveal that one. And these 3 go away. You cannot participate on them anymore. And you are just focused on these new 3. That's it. That's the challenge. Another important thing for you to have in consideration when playing the game, since the beginning, there is randomly drawn a critic. So this is the guy that you are going to be training the whole week to impress in the end of the game. So this is drawn randomly, and this guy affects the end game somehow. I won't go into details because you have a ton of critics, but he stays here since the beginning, and you know what to expect for your final dish here when you get to the 7th day, how you should praise this critic. Okay, and you've seen in the video that these things also pop up out of the bag. So these are called the rumors, because in this section here of the board you have these 3 rumors, which are cards face down. No one knows what are there unless, instead of picking ingredients during your running, you pick these things. So imagine that I decide to pick the 3 dots a token here, or I may be forced because it's the only thing left. That means that I can have access from now on to this card and the rumor that is here. So I secretly take a look at it, and basically the rumors are rumors of things that this critic also appreciates on the end plate. Basically, they should be treated as end game goals, because if you manage to complete what is done here, you get the stars above, or you get, some of them allow you to, let me see what we have here. Some of them don't give you direct stars, but they give you different ways of scoring I could search the deck, but I don't want to stop. So if you know that, then you mark it by going to your board and you put this token here. So we now know that you have access to the rumor of... Why is this? Yeah, I was doing it wrong. You have access to the rumor of the 3 dots, okay? And you can consult it anytime. So when all the players have had access to this, you can just turn the rumor up and then it's visible for everyone. You don't need to have the rumor here in order to score that in the end of the game. So if you are not aware of the rumor, you can do your own game, play as you see fit, and then you may be lucky. In the end of the game, when these objectives are revealed, you may score them by just luck, okay? And you also have the quotation mark rumor, and you have the exclamation mark rumor besides the 3 dots, and there's also rumor, which is a wild rumor. So if you get this one, you can choose which rumor you want to activate, and you just mark it here for us to know all the players know which one you know. Okay, so if you're in a situation where you already have this rumor, and the rumor appears again because there are multiple tokens of this, and you cannot pick again the same rumor that you already have. Either you need to leave it for another player, or it goes away and you get a compensation soup as well. Okay, so that's really important. Then what happens when you get to the 7th day, right? So you have a final day where you need to run and get ingredients for you to prepare your critic meal. The critic meal is this bigger plate. So it's not a circular one, it's like a big one, a rectangular one, where you are only allowed to have 1 token of each of these items, which could also include spice. So for example, the cheese spot could be like this, and also include a spice to multiply it or to double its power. Okay, this rule may change because the critic may allow you to do different things. Okay, but normally the rule is that when you present your final meal, you need to have only 1 plus a spice on each of them. Okay, so there is a star here for the player that has most soups in the end of the game. It's not most soups exactly, is you sum the points of your soups, like 1 plus 3 in this example, it would be a 4 soup player. So if this is the highest number on a tie, all players get the same. Then if you are able to deliver all the ingredients in your final meal, then there's a star waiting for you. Then the magic happens here, which is for each of the ingredients, you will see one by one whoever has the highest score. Okay, and in case of a tie, both players will get the points. After that, you score the rumors. So you go each of them and see if your meal qualifies to any of these endgame objectives for you to earn the stars there. Then the bonus score comes from certain cards that may have bonus scores that are considered at this stage. And then last but definitely not least, you have the final score. So that's the moment where you turn around your board, and let me see if I can find some space here. And you pick up your mouse and you put your mouse here on the beginnings. So then what you do is you count the amount of power that you have on your final meal, and that will be converted into stars. So in this example that you see here, I will have 4 on the carrots. We will go to 4, and then I have 4 multiplied by 2 here on the cheese, so that's going to be 8. I go to 12. Then 5, I go to 17, and then 6, I go to 23. So in this example, my final meal would be worth 4 extra points, which are added to all the points that I've been gathering throughout the game. And that's going to be my final score. In a case of a tie, then whoever is in front here wins. Additional rules or modules. So the restaurateurs, it's optional. At the beginning of the game, you give 2 cards randomly to each player. Then the player looks at both of them and chooses which one you want to keep in the game, and then you will have this power making the game asymmetric, and in the end of the game you already have these two stars that are given to you to compensate and something. Just by having this restaurateur. Well, this has been a long video. It would be impossible for me to show you everything inside, as well as a bit of the base game rules. But I hope you liked the video of Critter Kitchen Deluxe Edition, to the point that you hit that like button and consider subscribing. I have this big playlist full of board games, as well as all the major card games out there. And if you like podcasts, I also have the podcast, the Table Talks, where I'm interviewing people to get to know their projects, their stories, their profiles, while playing board games online with them. So I definitely think that you will find interesting content in the channel to consider subscribing and to be part of this community. So thank you very much, and I hope to see you on the next video. Goodbye.